In this video, we're going to talk about page layout. We're going to talk about some of the spacing options you have, and we'll look at how you control the flow of text throughout your document. The first thing we're going to cover are page breaks. Page breaks indicate when Word should push text to the next page. You'll want to use a page break instead of pressing enter a bunch of times, because if you add text, take away text, you'll have to adjust it every time. Whereas if you put a page break, you predictably know that it will break to a next page because of the page break. Now I'm going to go down here and put in a page break. Now I'm going to click in front of where I want to break the page, and I want to push views to the next page. Now to do this, I'm going to do a keyboard shortcut and press Ctrl Enter. And you can see it's pushed down. Now it's page 2. Now there's actually 2 more places you can add a page break. So whichever one you're comfortable with, use that one. So I'm going to go down and click in front of opening files. Then I'm going to go to the Insert tab on the ribbon. Now there's a Pages group, and I'm going to click on Page Break. Now there's another option called Blank Page. Blank Page will create a blank page with a page break on it, so that it will have a completely blank page, and then anything beneath it will be pushed to the next page. Now we're going to put one more page break. So I'm going to click in front of Themes and Styles, this paragraph right here. And then I'm going to go to the Layout tab. Now the Layout tab in the Page Setup group has a button called Breaks. And this will accomplish the same thing. I'm going to click on Page. So I'm going to scroll up, so we'll talk about deleting a page break. Now the page break is approximately here, so I'm going to click. Now I could backspace this, but if you are dealing with page breaks, you might want to turn on non-printing characters. That's the keyboard shortcut, Ctrl Shift and 8, or you can go to the Home tab and then click on this button. Now you see the page break right there. Now I didn't have to show the non-printing characters to delete it, but it's just obviously easier to see. So I'm going to delete this page break by just backspacing. Now let's take a look at margins. Now margins are on your Layout tab in the Page Setup group. Margins are the white space around your text. So if I click on margins, you can see right now it's normal, where it's 1 inch all around. But I can change it if I want to fit more text or I want more white space. So if I switch to wide, you can see the margins are wide. And if I switch to narrow, you see the effect. So you may want to control the spacing before or after your paragraph. So we're going to do that for this paragraph right here. I'm going to use the paragraph group since I'm on the Layout tab. Now you can see there's before, where I can make sure there's white space before the paragraph, and I can also control the white space after the paragraph. Now this is available on the Home tab as well. If you go to Home and then click on the paragraph dialog box launcher, you can control the spacing this way. You don't have to go to the Layout tab. The next layout option we're going to talk about are columns. Now columns can be nice for printouts or brochures, any kind of handout, where you can have multiple columns, making it a little bit easier to read, especially if it's a printout. So I'm going to create columns here. Now the columns are going to apply to my whole document. So I'm going to click on Layout, then go to Page Setup, Then click on columns and choose 2 columns. Let's take a look at what happened with our 2-column configuration. We can control this a little bit better with a column break. Now you can see over here we have a paragraph that spills over to the second column. So maybe we want to move themes and styles to the right side by putting a column break. So to do that, I'm going to click in front of themes and styles. And on my layout tab in page setup group, I'm going to go to breaks. And then we want to choose column break. So this is going to push themes and styles to the next column, so those paragraphs are together. So when you create columns, it will apply to the entire document. So to have different layout settings for different parts of your document, you can create what's called a section. So we're going to do that next. I'm going to go up to the next page and I'm going to remove that page break. I'm going to go back up to the previous page to remove the page break. And for this one, I'm going to turn on non-printing characters. So I'm going to delete this page break. Now, what I want to put in there is a section break that will also split it off to the next page. So I'm going to go up to breaks in my layout tab and choose next page. It puts in a next page section break and pushes everything to the next page. Now, when I go up to the section 1, the original section, I can change this back to 1 column. Now everything above it is 1 column, but my last page where I wanted to keep the columns are 2 columns. I hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching.